Welcome to Theorycraft, a live podcast where game designers and their players engage in conversation. We've been wanting to do kind of a holiday episode idea for a little while, just to talk about things besides games that we're passionate about. So this will be a little bit of a filler episode in the canon. How you been doing this past week, Chris? It's good to see you after only a week this time.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to keep it regular. We keep having like these breaks in between because life happens and things are going on. But yeah, no, I think it's been a busy week. We're just trying to close out like next week's the last week until we're off for a break till the new year. So I'm trying to close up everything. We're doing interviews and all of that, and have our first annual cookie exchange tomorrow.
What?
Holiday cookie exchange, yeah.
Okay, so like everybody just bakes a different cookie and trades them around?
Yeah. So you can bake cookies and then dump them off so you don't,
Yeah.
get those 5 holiday pounds or whatever, right?
Yeah. I've been doing that anyways. I had somebody, I brought in like a tin of that Trader Joe's Jingle Jangle, like the round tin that's just full of like all the chocolate covered candy they have, basically. Just like a holiday fat pack. I just dropped it off on the work table with an announcement in Slack. And somebody was actually like, dude, I hate you for continuing to bring this stuff in, but also thanks. That's just this time of the year. You got to let it go. Candace, by the way, is not here today because she is temporarily homeless, is what she wanted just to communicate to you. So Godspeed on her safe return to the podcast. Yeah. Well, did you bake yet? Are you making cookies?
I am later tonight. So
are you can you spoil the recipe, or like you don't want
to what I'm gonna make
in on it? Yeah.
I'm probably gonna make 2, I think. So I'm probably gonna make the snowball cookies, which are just kind of like a Mexican wedding cookie is usually what they're called. They're basically just kind of a cookie with like rolled and powdered sugar. So it's kind of like a butter cookie. And then the other one I want to try making, which I've never made before, is like a chocolate spice cookie. So it's like chocolate with some spices. So those are the 2 I think I'm gonna do.
Like a cayenne sort of hot chili cookie, or you're talking like wintry
That's a good
spices?
idea. It's more like wintry spices, like cinnamon and whatever, right? So
damn, I wish I could be there for those. I only have 2 more days left in the office, and then I head out to Texas and then back home. Yeah, so Canada just.
I didn't know you were going to Texas.
My dad's wife's family lives there, and so I'm stopping over there for a few days. I haven't seen any of my family for over 2 years now, so I think I'm just kind of expected to pull at all the stops to like make it happen, because who knows when the next time will be. So I will I'll pop over there because they're all going to be there. Then I'll head up to the Northeast. But dude, Canada just issued a new travel advisory today because of the fast spread of Omicron. And these advisories are so fucking annoying, man. It's like, if you're fully vaccinated, you're on board with getting your shots, you're living your life as safely as you can. It's like the advisory, all it really makes me do is feel guilty about going. But I'm like 2 days out from the plane trip. Like, I'm not going to do anything differently. I'm just feeling like life's too short to not do it. But now I don't know. I'm going to be worrying while I'm there that they'll turn on some mandatory 14-day expensive-ass hotel quarantine while I'm gone, and I'll come back and like have to do that, but who knows what it'll be. Anywho, I'm sure it'll be fine. Speaking of baking, and I guess I don't know if we should get like right into like goods topic, because you mentioned holiday game experiences too, which I think could be fun to get people up here for. Maybe we can do that at the end and do our product bullshit first. I just bought a book the other day that I'm really excited to crack into called Snackable Cakes. And it's just like 50-ish recipes of just easy kind of one bowl cakes, all of which look really good. They're kind of no fuss. They're sort of just like simple cake recipes, the likes of which, as they say, you'd have a little slice with coffee in the afternoon. Because I started baking more lately, getting out of just my bread. And I just wanted a bunch of easy recipes to go to dump into like a muffin pan, or just, I don't know, when it's all cold out, it feels great to just have something cooking in your house. So there are so many recipes in there that it's like, I can just see the pounds, but I'm pretty fucking hype on that. Snackable cakes.
Have you made any of it yet, or not yet?
I haven't made it yet because it just came in like 2 days ago, and I have a lot to do before I get out of town. So I don't know. There's a lot to handle in a short time frame. And I think you probably mentioned this too, but I get this pre-travel anxiety of like, until I'm at the gate seated and waiting, I'm just pretty much sure I'm not going to get on the flight somehow. So I'm kind of in that headspace this week. But we had our company holiday party this past weekend, which was great. It was just a dinner. Nobody could bring plus ones to keep the size a little bit down, but fuck, it was so good to see the entirety of my company again. And just, I don't know, I really feel like a lot of contractor brain had kind of settled in over the last year or two. And seeing everybody gathered there in one spot and all the different projects announced, founder made a speech and everything was like just a huge morale boost that I didn't even really know I needed, but had a lot of fun.
So sorry, what was the event? You went to dinner?
The Clay holiday party. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
and
it was
what did
just
you guys
a dinner.
do exactly? Oh, it's a dinner.
It was just a dinner. It was like dinner and drinks, but it was super chill.
You catered or what?
Yeah, it was at a restaurant.
At a restaurant. Okay, cool.
Yeah, at a restaurant. They tend to do it at this one every year, but yeah, I don't know. That's just a personal anecdote, but obviously you don't take for granted the fact that you get to see, probably most of your employees every day, but it's a big freaking deal.
I think so. I think definitely if you're not gonna, you're all gonna be full remote. That's fine. I just think you need to have these events where you come together a couple times per year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Galloway on this podcast that Luca and I like pivot that we're always memeing about. But he talked about. I think on that podcast they talked about how there's a big emerging industry which is these like remote or these corporate events sort of thing where people go out and people are just looking for
the retreats and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's so funny. Years ago, I would have thought that whole concept felt so cheesy. Like, I don't know. I did one with one of the first companies I worked at. We went up somewhere, I don't know if it was in Canada. It was somewhere maybe in upstate New York. It's like a lake house with some cabins and stuff. We did a bunch of strategizing.
Mm-hmm.
It felt kind of corny, but that's probably just because I didn't really love the company. And so I was like sus about everything that was happening there. But I would totally be up for one now, all germophobia excluded.
Did you ever see this movie Up in the Air?
No.
Okay, because in this movie, it's funny because they have like a corporate retreat, and it's just kind of what I've never been to a corporate because I only worked in a games studio.
Yeah, but you guys went to Vegas. Like that was the Blizzard corporate retreat. It was Vegas trips.
Yeah. But in the movie, they have their corporate retreat, and it's like it's not in Vegas; it's just at some hotel sort of thing. But then, and they have this like kind of cringy kind of party with a dance floor, and it's just
right.
I don't know. It's just funny, but I think totally it's those sort of events going forward are going to be a little more curated than that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that evolves.
Yeah, I don't think they're the norm. They certainly haven't happened at every place I've worked at. They're fucking expensive, like companies don't want to shell out for stuff like that. Purses are just getting tighter and tighter, but I didn't really know how much I needed like an all hands event like that. And I really did. I feel supercharged and kind of like really reoriented with the game I'm working on. And it's just been good since then. And I think it's going to keep being good into the new year. So good all around.
Cool.
So the deal here, for some context, is that Chris, amongst his many proclivities, is, I would say, a particular consumer and has strong product preferences when things really speak to him. And I've only come to know this from, a couple of years hanging out with him online. When I've seen Chris go to bat for something that he likes and uses in his daily life, he will just let you know. He won't stop bringing it up. And we get into these discussions all the time about like little things we've bought that have changed our life. And eventually we just shortcutted it down to talking about min-maxed products. And I kind of want to let you start this off with the gizmo that I think started it all, which is a thing called the Toothshower. I still don't have one of these, but like, can you explain to us what the Toothshower is and how it's? I still don't have one. Can you explain the Toothshower to everybody and like maybe how it's improved your life?
Sure. Yeah. So like Luca said, I think me and Luca share a passion for finding good products that we like, and then we tell our friends about them, and we're happy because our friends use these products and it improves their lives, right? And so, anyways, yeah, the Toothshower. So I'm somebody who I've always had problems with my teeth. It's just I hate flossing. I never really like, who likes flossing, right? I always feel like I have this sort of. You go to the dentist and I'm like, oh my God, you need to floss more. And I'm like, I've been flossing like every night or whatever. I'm just like a terrible flosser and I hate it. And so anyways,
suck at doing it. Okay.
Then they were suggesting, well, you can get like this an air or water pick or whatever. And so I got a water pick. I've actually gotten 2 water picks. One, they have like a hummingbird one or something like that. It's like a more handheld, smaller one that you use. That thing kind of sucks, and you have to constantly refill it and stuff.
You never get the low power model. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got like the full one that you put on your kind of, on your bathroom sink kind of setup area, the actual water pick that you fill with water and turn on.
Yeah.
And I used that for a bit, and it's not bad. It's just loud, and then also you have to refill it all the time. It's just kind of a mess and just big on your counter, and I just don't have a lot of space. And so I just stopped using that after a while. But I was wondering, like, why isn't there like one in your shower? Because maybe I'm weird, but I brush my teeth in the shower. I've always done that as a kid. Like my parents made me do that to like min-max our showers to make us go faster, so we don't waste water.
Now
or
we see where it comes from. Totally.
And so, anyways, I was Googling it, and I found this product called the Toothshower, and actually, it's been really, really awesome. Like, you set up the water pick goes into your shower head, and it flows water, so it's like warm water, and it just like shoots into your mouth, and I've noticed a big difference. I've noticed a big difference when I go to the dentist. Like, wow, it's like you've been flossing, and I'm like, well, yeah, I've been using a Toothshower, and they're like, tooth wet. So I even got the dentist to buy one. So
you upsold your dentist on a Toothshower.
Yeah, and now they recommend it to their clients, I guess. So, but yeah, I have had a few people to get the Toothshower. So, Toothshower, I recommend the Toothshower. We're not sponsored by the Toothshower.
Yeah. We should just claim that we're not getting any money for anything we talk about here.
That's the 2022 goals. We can get sponsored by the Toothshower. That's
true. I don't hear of them on on podcasts or anything. They don't seem to have. They must be one of those just ultra reliable, steady companies that can rely purely on word of mouth because they're just so clutch that like everybody who uses one knows they need to tell everyone else about it. I mean, it sounds like it. That's sick. I don't think I've ever gone into the dentist and had them say, "Wow, looks like you've really been flossing."
Does that happen to anybody? I don't think so. I feel like you can get a professional cleaning at some dentists and go into a new dentist like, oh well, you got to floss.
Yeah. They always make me feel like I'm fucking 5 years old, which probably is because I'm too stubborn to learn things. That's dope. I still don't have one of these. I just feel like in a rental unit, I don't know, but you're renting, so I don't have to. I figure, is it going to be a pain in the ass to hook up? Like I don't have a bidet.
No, it's
kind of for the
really
same reason.
Easy to hook up. It doesn't require any kind of electrical outlet. It just plugs into your shower, and the water that flows through it's just
pressure.
It's just pressure from the water.
Cool.
I don't know, the pipes or whatever. Yep.
Maybe I will.
Anyways, Toothshower, recommend it.
Okay, cool. So that's one. Let's just ping pong back and forth. I have a couple here. I think this one's pretty basic, but in terms of like gift giving or like just should you have one, I use my Instant Pot basically every day, and it's replaced 2 or 3 other gizmos that I had in terms of a rice cooker and a slow cooker. And so like I really can't recommend that thing enough. I use it to make oatmeal all the time. It can do like whole oats, not even steel cut. I'm talking like the hippie level above that in the pre-refined chain. It can do them in like 4 minutes. It can do white rice in like 20 minutes or so. I do roasts in there sometimes if I want to just do like a ton of pulled pork. You can sear it on all sides in there if you want, and then you can just throw all the other stuff in over it, like the braising liquid, close it up, shut it, and just leave it going like a slow cooker. But it's just, I don't know. I just feel like for something that cost me like under $200 to have a gadget that I use enough to like want to leave on my counter, because it's not a small footprint, right? But to like know that I want to use it every single day, and it encourages me to cook more and make more things that like probably take a while to cook. Beans, tubers and things like that, like beets. Sometimes I'll steam beets and things in there because I just always feel like it's like 45 minutes in the oven to do some shit like that, and you got to get oil everywhere. Anyways, I feel like it's paid for itself in terms of forcing me to eat healthier things, forcing me to eat more whole foods, and I just love it. I mean, that's not a hot take. That thing is like incredibly well selling. I think the thing that sucks about it is that there are 1,000,001 SKUs of this thing, and they just seem to need to grind out a new SKU every single year, like an annualized model update, just to like keep the fires of capitalism stoked, I guess. But I just don't know that they offer big improvements year over year. But what that does mean is that you can go on Craigslist usually and find people selling, last year's Instant Pot model for like under $100. So I think they also have an air fryer attachment for the top. I don't know how that fucking works.
Yeah, they make a new model now that it's air fryer, rice cooker, or slow cooker, pressure cooker, like kind of all in one. And usually I'm kind of always skeptical of any of the models that can do so many of those things because they probably do them all kind of shittily. But apparently it gets good reviews. So yeah, I mean, I got a pressure cooker probably like 8 years ago.
So you were way ahead of the curve.
Well, it used to be really popular to do slow cooking. Because when I used to do CrossFit and working out a lot, everybody in that group would always slow cook stuff.
Oh, they would meal prep like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, my friends used to say it was like torrenting food, because you just put it in there and just, yeah. But then, just pressure cooker is just so superior to slow cookers. It just, there's not a lot of dishes that come out better in a slow cooker than a pressure cooker. So it's like, why wait? Thing. Right.
It makes me feel bad, honestly, because last year for a number of weekends, I was volunteering at this thrift store near me, just because I go there a ton and I wanted to contribute. It's like an SPCA donation store, and they have shelves where people donate household goods, appliances, and stuff. And it's clear to me that the Instant Pot has really set in because all of their shelves, there were like a dozen rice cookers and even more slow cookers on these shelves. It was like old drip coffee machines, slow cookers, and rice cookers. And so just by surveying that, I was like, these must be being displaced by something else, right? I'm guessing it's the Instant Pot. I think it was invented by a dude in Toronto. So maybe there's some some Canadian pride in there too, possible.
Things do come out of Canada.
Rarely. Yeah, it's like that. Lululemon, Shopify.
Ryan Gosling,
Ryan Reynolds, all the Ryans. But yeah, man, that's mine. I'm obsessed. It's like one of the first things I bought when I moved into my own. My girlfriend at my previous place had one, and I was just like, I can't go back to not having one of these in my life. So yeah, they're sick. Do you got anything else that really lights your world up?
Well, I was also going to add, I linked here this recipe I always make in the pressure cooker. It's shredded pork tinga tacos. And so the recipe doesn't say to use a pressure cooker. It wants you to basically braise it or whatever on the stove. But what I do is I just change the recipe. I put the pork butt and the water, and there's like some herbs and stuff like that, and garlic or whatever in the pressure cooker, and cook it on high for, I think it's like 35 minutes or so. Yeah, it's amazing. So, and way faster than if you do it like the other way. But basically, really, those really fatty, hard meats, it's really good.
It's clutch for those.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well,
next product. No more.
Yeah. Next product. Let's moving on. Okay. Did you want to talk about the steamer or me?
Well, you got it first, and then this is kind of like a joint.
Yeah.
Thing that
we're both thrilled about it. Yeah. So let me get a link here. I'll link it. So this is the
no affiliate links, by the way. We're not skimming our.
Yeah, we're not skimming. No, exactly. Yeah. This is all authentic. Yeah. So I'm kind of somebody who's always min-maxing everything. I'm always trying to like clean my place better, reduce the amount of time, and not use a lot of different products or whatever. What I love about the steam cleaner is that it cleans things just with water, so you don't have all these like chemicals and a bunch. Another thing about me is I have like a scent. I could smell like Wolverine. I don't have a heightened sense of smell. I can just smell shit. Like I can smell people. Like if someone walks through my room, I could smell them. It's just weird. But anyway, so I'm really sensitive to like a bunch of like fake smells. So I don't like buying a lot of really anything I try to buy unscented everything, like unscented detergent, unscented everything. So just because I'm sensitive to fake smells. But anyways, so that's one great thing about the steam cleaners. You can clean things and disinfect just with water. And It's pretty affordable. At least when I bought it, it was, inflation's the thing. Oh, yeah, it's a 150 right now. There's a special on it, which I think is pretty reasonable. And you can use it to clean your stove top, which is usually really annoying to do. You can use it to clean your bathroom, your toilet, and it has all these different attachments. You could even do your floors, and you could steam clean your couches, which I did. I do my walls, like the walls with paint walls, which is usually a really annoying to do, and especially like if you clean them too hard with like a sponge or something, you can take the paint off, but for whatever reason, when I steam clean it, it just cleans it, and it doesn't take the paint off.
Like good eggshell paints in your walls, because I've have some crappy paint in my apartment. I've had the bristly one take it off a little bit, but I'm just careful from now on.
Oh, what I do is I put the towel over it and wrap the towel around it.
You use the long one, yeah, okay, the like the floor.
No. There's a bristle one, and then there's something where you wrap the towel around
triangular one.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
you put the little sock over. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can buy your own microfiber towels and wrap it around and just use a rubber band or something like that. And that's kind of what I do. But yeah, I really, really love this thing, and was also really thought. I mean, I don't on the website they don't really say, but it says it like kills 99.9% of bacteria and stuff like that, and so it really helped me like mentally during COVID, and I would use it like on packages and like on my masks and stuff, so I didn't have to put them in the wash. It just made me feel better, and I never caught COVID, so I don't know, maybe
we were all like wiping our apples down with bleach and shit like that in like March 2020.
Yeah.
That era of COVID. Yeah, I think I remember wanting to get one around then too, and they were all sold out because I'm just part of the normie consumer wave of panic. Yeah, I am a big fan of this thing too. I got one after you recommended it to me, and I mean, there are a few things that I like about it. Like you said, you don't have to use a lot of chemicals, which is great. I like that it kind of forces you to commit to cleaning, because you fill up the reservoir of this thing and you hit a button on it to bring it up to pressure. It's basically like an instant pot. Only with jets attached to it. And then, when that light goes green and you're ready to steam, as the manual says, it just feels like, well, while this thing's powered up, like I should just steam clean fucking everything that I can see in sight, that'll take it, because it's up, the pressure's good to go, and let me just use the water in the tank. And so I get into a mode, where you fill it up, power it on, like, for the next hour or whatever, you're just kind of deep cleaning. I love it for bathrooms and stuff. The thing that I love it the most for is because I make a lot of bread and stuff at home. I get a lot of, just like little strains of dough and stuff can kind of drop into the sink when I'm trying to like wipe it off my hands and clean up. And it's like you can rinse your sink, but if you don't do it super quickly, or like the water's too hot, so it kind of starts to force the proteins to coagulate or something, they can like stick to the bottom of the sink. And so I don't know, I get weird about really gross sinks and like sink residues. And so I love being able to just hit this stainless steel surface with this really hot scrubber and just know I'm getting it down to like slick. You know what I mean? You want to talk about weird smells and stuff? And actually the 1-2 combo with the steam cleaner for sinks is, before you do all that, you hit the drain with pouring some baking soda down it and then pouring some vinegar down it too. Like, dude, you're all set.
I didn't know you could do that. I haven't tried that yet. I gotta do that.
It's cool because it bubbles up back out of the other drain too, if you have like a 2-drain or a separated sink. But I do that sometimes after like a lot of heavy oily cooking, or every several days, just to like freshen it up and to kind of like preemptively declog it, to help kind of keep fats and stuff moving. Like in a perfect world, I'd have a garbage disposal, but that's for boomers.
Oh, you don't have a garbage disposal?
No, I don't. Garbage disposal, gas range, those are all like the S tier apartment outfittings. And I haven't
really, I've never not had a garbage disposal.
Maybe it's a California thing.
Yeah, it might be for sure.
I feel like up here they're a little more stringent about what they let go down drains too, because there are signs everywhere about how it just feeds into like salmon fisheries and spawning spots. So it'd be a bit bad to be chumming up all your household garbage and just putting it right out there. But
I think the garbage disposal must be like one of the number one things people call in, like, "Oh my god, I need help, my garbage disposal," for like landlords. So it's probably a reason why they don't really have them all over the place.
That's true too.
Um,
Yeah, it's true too. All right, the
awesome,
steam.
but
Oh, also my steam cleaner. The hose of it kind of ripped off a tiny bit. Sort of some problems with it last year. I hit Need Up, sent the thing back, totally free. They replaced the whole unit. They gave me a whole new set of attachments. Very easy to deal with. I was a big fan. So I'll share this one. It's deceptively simple. It is just this kind of foam roller muscle ball thing called the Supernova. And I had someone from the Blizzard, that fitness group that we're in, recommend it to me last year, Tony, as part of his kind of like everyday warm down, sort of like mobility general taking care of himself regimen. This guy, for those who don't know, he formerly was at Blizzard, now at Obsidian, and kind of like chief in charge of the Blizzard fitness group, I want to say. He's basically Captain America. He's British, but incredible shape. And like you can trust any opinion he has in anything fitness related. So when he laid out his routine and the gadgets he used, I'm just going to fucking buy all of them to be like Tony. This ball is incredible though. So I work out a fair bit and I do a lot of like mobility work and stuff at home, yoga and things like that. I go to the parkour gym sometimes. And this thing is just like, it just seems like it's one of those like super engineered products for really, it's like next level kind of muscle rolling. It's hard. The grooves are there to kind of like really get in there, move your sort of fascia along and hit your muscles. This thing is like a beast at getting out kind of trigger points and knots and stuff in your back and your shoulders. And as you probably know too, like, you know, working at desks all day, you know, you just develop this litany of like shoulder tightness and kind of weird pinchy spots and stuff. And so I spend some time on top of this thing every day, just like under my shoulder blades or on my back. If I angle right, I can even sort of get like my upper, not my neck, but like the traps, you know, the diagonal area kind of going down from your neck to your shoulders. You can use it, you can sit on it and kind of roll out your glutes and your hamstrings. And it's like, I don't know, this thing, every time I get off it, I just feel like so fucking relaxed. I want to take a nap immediately.
Really? It doesn't hurt when you're on it?
Oh, I mean, it does, but it's kind of a hurt that you get familiar with. Like you get a real strong sense of how to release muscles the more you use it. You can feel when you're on a point that could release given time. And so the thing I like about this too is that like you can't rush muscle releasing and these sorts of things. It's very meditative. You have to just spend the time on it and keep the point kind of depressed laying on the ball, and you just deep breathe kind of into the spot and just wait, and then you can feel, and suddenly it's like an iceberg calving off, you know. Like all of a sudden it's just like, and you can just feel the spot sort of open up, and I'll move around and hit everything. And yeah, I just love it. Like I'm at the point now where I start to feel bad if I haven't done this for like, you know, a day or two in a row. It feels like, especially as you get older and if you're trying to keep doing activity, like every day I wake up and something or another is fucking sore. And this has been a big part of my routine. So
Yep. Which size did you get? The 80 millimeter or the 120?
I think I got the big one. I think that the small one, I think I would mostly want to use, actually I don't remember anymore. But I think I would get the big one.
How squishy is it, or is it like really hard?
It is not squishy at all. It is hard plastic. So
because I mean, usually what most people use is they use a lacrosse ball, which I do have, and I use that every now and then. But this is kind of like a lacrosse ball with like grooves on it.
Lacrosse ball with grooves, and I think it's a little harder than a lacrosse ball. I have a lacrosse ball as well. I think the lacrosse ball is probably close to the smaller size. And I think what I would use that for would be like kind of on like my front deltoids, or that area like right above your armpit, sort of, if you're leaning against like a door frame and you kind of want to like lift your arm up and down and get into that spot. Like you can tuck a lacrosse ball really well into a couple of those smaller spots. The other thing you can do with this one that's kind of interesting is you can stand on it with one foot and kind of hold yourself and like roll your foot out. I really noticed, especially if you run a lot or after parkour, I would notice my feet would get tight, which is just like not, muscle tightness is so weird. And it's like until you have experience relieving it, you kind of sometimes can't even tell that the tightness is there. But then once you've felt like what it's like to get rid of it, you become attuned to, needing to do it. So anyways, I imagine most of our listeners skew kind of young. At least that's the vibe I get. I'm not sure, but certainly as you start getting north of, 30, 35, 40, this kind of maintenance and just slowly fighting off gravity and the march to the grave becomes pretty important. So
yeah, one product I was going to recommend, which is in the same space, is the Hypervolt, which Kowalski and all those guys also love, and that's how they introduced it to me. And it's similar. It's just it's basically just something that vibrates, that puts pressure. Vibrates really quickly. And has all these different attachments to help get kinks out and massage. It's like a massage gun, is what they call them. And I looked at a bunch of brands, and the Hypervolt is like kind of one of the earlier ones, and it's a little more on the pricey side. There's other ones that are cheaper, but the reason why I like the Hypervolt is just because it's not really loud. It has it's not silent, but it has like an okay. I don't know. You're the sound expert, but it's. Anyway, I didn't want to get one that was just really loud, because if you use it in the office,
it sounds like a power tool, totally.
If you have a partner or something, it's just like annoying. But I got into the habit of using it like after every workout, and it really makes a difference.
Yes.
So
that's a great one too. I mean, especially if I feel like the Galaxy Brain attachment for the Hypervolt is that like tiny pinpoint one. That is once you get to that level and you start hunting for really tiny trigger spots, like you will fucking see God hitting some of these spots. You just can't believe your body can fucking give you so much pain. You're like, what is happening in there? Have I ever moved that area since I was like 5 years old? It's like, it's rough. All right. I got one last one that's pretty short. I think I've recommended this to you a few times. I don't know if you took up on it, but this electric duster gun thing.
Yeah, dude, I bought this too. Yeah.
You did buy you did buy one of these. Yeah. This thing is sick. It's like a couple horsepower plug-in corded duster for electronics and really anything. I like this because I hate the idea of buying cans of compressed air. It just feels like shipping wise and storing it and everything, it just seems like the most wasteful, stupid thing to have to keep on hand. I get in these clean, freaky modes, and the idea of just having almost infinite dusting pressure out of a gun was really exciting to me. I've since adapted this thing into kind of like my whole house cleaning routine, which when I'm really trying to get down there, and I've got 2 cats as well, so who knows where they end up leaving shit. I kind of will like start at one sort of end of my apartment because it's very long lengthwise, and I can pretty much just like push all the dust bunnies, everything gradually into like one full side of the apartment and then into my foyer. And it's just so satisfying to see like an apartment's worth of dust just like crammed into one tiny spot, and then you just vacuum it all up at the end. It's like, ugh. Anywho, I love this thing. It's good for cleaning out keyboards and stuff too.
Keyboards, I also like it for, this is a very particular thing, but I have, that orc statue from Blizzard that they gave you for the anniversary. You have to, it's really hard to clean those sort of things. Like, do you use a brush? Like, what do you do, right? And so, it's pretty good at cleaning that. Just cleans all the dust off of like all the ridges and stuff. So if you have like statues, like collector statues or those sort of things, it's really good for that also. Yeah. Apparently, you could also use it to fill balloons and stuff. I haven't done that yet, but
that's cool.
I can totally see it being used for that.
Yeah, now that you're running Notorious and you're going to be hosting parties nonstop, maybe you'll be the balloon guy too.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know. When I was a kid, we did fill balloons just by blowing into them and hung them like upside down on the ceiling. I don't know. Do people still do that? It seems like most of these days people just fill them with helium somewhere, but obviously you can't do that with this. But water balloons, no, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Wouldn't be able to do that with this. I'm trying to think of like some of the different, the brush attachment that goes on this thing is really nice too. I don't know. To me, the mark of a good tool is you can't imagine your life without it again. And while you're holding it, you just want to basically go hunting for ways to use it. And that is how I feel when I pick up this thing. I feel similarly about like, good socket wrenches and also vice grip pliers, like tools that just like satisfyingly lock or click or have a good weight to them that you're like, I think I'll go around and start tightening up some screws because this thing just feels good to use. You know, this thing, it's like, as soon as I pick it up, I'm like, where's the dust? Like, I just want to blow out like every corner of my fucking apartment. I get obsessed. But anywho, it's really loud though. So
it is loud. This one is a loud one.
This one's very loud. Yeah. Especially that little needly looking attachment there. That thing is like almost a whistle tip. So my cats fucking hate this one. Yeah, I love it. I think pretty much it. I think for me, what time are we at now? 6:46. Yeah. Let's, did you already open the floor? Oh, you are.
I did. I just opened the floor. So if anybody else has any suggestions,
products, or the other thing I was thinking we could kind of chat about. I don't know that we'll go super duper long this week, but do you have any cozy games that you like to come back to around the holidays? They don't obviously have to be, you know, holiday themed games, but like anything that when it just starts hitting winter, you're like, oh, I wanna get back into this again.
Well, I used to play. Whenever I go home with my family, I always play Diddy Kong Racing because they have like a really good soundtrack. They have like a Frost level in there. They have like some Christmas level, and I don't know why. I just always love that level. It always gave me like Christmas vibes. Here, I'll link the soundtrack.
Why do Frost levels, by the way, always have the best music?
Right.
I just feel like pretty consistently, like all the Sonic Ice levels, also gold music, the Final Fantasy Ice areas. Anywho, so what was this on? 64. Okay.
Yeah, it was the Nintendo 64. Yeah. There's a lot of nostalgic Christmas songs in there that I always loved. WoW was always a game that got me into the Christmas spirit too. The Feast of Winter Veil and all of that, Metzen, and that was always cool.
Oh yeah.
How's Final Fantasy? Do they have a Christmas event?
Somebody knows. I bet they have an incredible one.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
I'm just curious what it's called. But
what is Fortnite doing for Christmas?
I don't know. I know New World is a Christmas event. We almost made it through this episode without mentioning them.
Oh,
I think it's actually it's like they're doing it. It looks pretty comprehensive and like it's gonna have a bunch of content, but in typical New World fashion, there was an issue with it and it's not out yet. So
got it.
They'll get it out.
I did see that there's going to be there's like some new Overwatch skins. I guess there's like a reindeer. God, what's that character say?
Oh, Orisa.
The
quadruped. Skin, yeah. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I guess people have been wanting that for a long time. So now you have it. Congrats.
Now you have it. And if not games, I mean, we can expand it to like media as well. But I just you mentioned your favorite holiday kind of gaming experiences, and that sent me reeling back through some memories to think about the games I've dug into most on the holidays. I feel like when I was a kid, most of my holiday gaming was kind of being done in like my own room and away from the whole family. Like you'd get a game and you'd unwrap it and you just go ham, day of, and blow everyone else off. And that was the greatest thing ever. In my adult life, I don't know. Though last year was my first year not going home for Christmas or being with my family at all for Christmas, I want to say. And I love that week when it just feels like the world quiets down between Christmas and New Year's, at least in the States and in Canada.
Me too. Yeah.
It's like you just feel so free. Like there are no expectations on you. Like I can play games. I'm an adult. I can make choices. I can play games a lot of times. But just that week where it's like everybody's just a little bit slower. It's so comfy. Yeah. So last year, and like all your friends just are in the same zone, so they're like hopping on voice chat on the reg, and it's just it feels like summer camp, but like the remote adult version. So last year I did Cyberpunk there. I feel like that's usually a good time of the year for like a good open world playthrough for me. I could just really kind of zone out and lose myself in something. Skyrim.
Well, I brought up Reynolds and Mary Poppins. So Reynolds, how about you? Do you have anything to share?
Yeah. So, first of all, I'll plug, you guys were mentioning Christmas events. I don't know if either of you played Satisfactory.
I have not. I have not yet.
You played it a little bit. They do a pretty cool Christmas event where there's an advent calendar in your hub, and every day you're finding the date in the picture in this advent calendar, and it's revealing new pieces of the holiday tech that you build up. Anyway, I've been having a good time with it. But
fun.
For a gift idea, I was going to suggest, because I just got one, I shared a picture of it in Discord a little bit ago, but inkedgaming.com. So like inked is in like tattooed or whatever. Inkedgaming.com has custom mouse pads and desk mats that you can get printed with any kind of art that you like. So I went to Good Old Games has the Warcraft 2 art as their banner background, and it's actually pretty high quality, I discovered. And so I actually got that just printed on a mouse mat it's like 18 inches by 36 inches and very large size ones. And so I spent a lot of time at my desk. I figure why not spruce it up.
Yeah. It looked very well made.
Yeah, I thought that was
one that you linked.
It was licensed. Yeah, so you printed that, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at their website now. They have some cool stuff, some Magic the Gathering shirts. That's cool.
This is good to know, too, because there are just so many, just like fast fashion, print whatever you want and ship it services. And a lot of them, I feel like, just deliver real shitty products. It's nice to know where the good ones are. You never know how your T-shirt or whatever is going to be when it rolls off the line. Chris, have you tried on that shirt, by the way? Is it like comfy? I'm supposed to be getting a similar one from that company.
Oh yeah, thank you. By the way, yeah, Luca got me a T-shirt, a Mad Men one of my favorite shows. Yeah, I tried it on. It fits and it seems good. Yeah,
it's good. Okay, I just feel like
I forgot what the brand was. I looked at it. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, it was from Redbubble. They have like a bajillion things you can print. This is cool though. Yeah, Chris, do you use like a big desk mat or a huge mouse pad? What's your setup like?
At home, I do have it's an older SteelSeries kind of oversized mouse pad. So I have that, and it's like a cloth fabric-ish kind of one that I like. It's kind of old. I've been contemplating getting a new one just because it's getting kind of grimy. I don't know. I wash it every now and then, but it's just kind of over time they're just going to get stained a little bit, just if your hand oils or whatever it is. So yeah,
you should collab with these guys if they're up for it and get some Noto ones.
Yeah, exactly. We ordered some swag from this company called Swag Up.
Okay. And
they just send you you could choose all this different stuff from them, like bags or hoodies or all this stuff. We all put the order in probably August and still haven't got it. So they're really slow. I wouldn't recommend them just because of, a lot of it's the supply chain issues and I get it, but it's like we ordered in summer.
Pretty slow. Reynolds, while you're up here, do you have any gaming memories you want to share too? Like holiday things you like to go back to? Besides Satisfactory? Sorry, that was the first thing you opened.
Yeah, no. Not specifically, but I did mention in the live chat that when the original Call of Duty came out for PC, I do remember, like Chris, had one of those moments where, or maybe it was you mentioned it, you just kind of go off by yourself and just play a ton. And I went through the original campaign, and it's funny thinking back at how fresh and interesting a single player campaign was, where the AI was also on your side and not just like a Doom, like everything's against you. And that game kind of really introduced that and did it in a really compelling way. And a little depressing to look at where Call of Duty is now, and just kind of, there's not been a whole lot of innovation in that space for some years.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good point. All right, cool. Mary Poppin, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Yeah. So I came up to ask you guys a few questions, but I'll share a holiday story to stick with the spirit. But
sure.
I guess it's tangentially related to gaming. But you guys were talking about holiday parties. I had a holiday party recently. It was probably the first time I met my team in person. And I work at a startup, so we collaborate all the time together, and we had a holiday party. I work in NFT startup, so and that's, I guess, how it's tangentially related to gaming. But we had a great holiday party in New York, and then we had they brought a stand-up comic, which I thought was interesting, and he kind of shat all over NFTs, rightfully so. But yeah, that was good to just see everybody. There's a lot of people I work with that I've never even seen what they look like. So that was great. And I didn't realize that NFTs are so big in gaming, which was something I never knew. So we've had a lot of gaming companies talk to us about incorporating NFTs, and I have honestly no idea what the applications could be. it's interesting. Even some AAA studios. So it seems to really be blowing up.
Ubisoft and yep.
Yeah.
So what does your NFT company do then if it's not games?
Well, it's just a marketplace.
Okay.
No, it's just a marketplace for anything, audio files, image files, and then we're having like generative art. So like you could collaborate with somebody else, and you can somebody can make an image, somebody can make an audio file, and you can join those together and mint them and sell them. That's just sort of the we're a startup, so we're still in beta, but that's just the the first steps. But ours is not based on Ethereum, which is like very environmentally unfriendly. So we're going at it at a different angle. And it's also, you don't need to know about crypto to use it.
Right. Which chain are you on then?
It's called EOS. It's
EOS.
yeah. So this is getting very technical, but EOS uses something called decentralized proof of stake, which is different than proof of work, which is used on Ethereum, which is like, you have to mine to generate the next block, and it uses a lot of electricity. Yeah, so that's, I guess, a holiday story. And then I had a question probably for Chris, but anyone can answer. So when I started there, by the way, I'm not big into crypto or NFT. I needed a job, and then I made my way into this business. But when we started, we were like 5 employees, and we knew that we had a very good team, and we were collaborating, and we were hiring a lot of people. And we knew that as we grew, there would be like these growing pains of, teams that previously worked together. We had designers and we had people that did art and stuff all working in like the same room. And then as we grew and we separated, we knew that growing pains would come, and they came quickly. And we weren't able to sort of cope with this separation of concerns. And then people started to have this us versus them thing, designers versus coders. They're always getting in our way. They're always getting, we're always getting in their way. And it made it very hard to work. And eventually we actually had to pivot the whole way we worked. And I'm just curious, as you're building a new company, how you think you're going to plan for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question. And, I would say we also have our share of kind of growing pains in the same way. I mean, we all had prior working relationships together, most of us from Blizzard, so we all kind of knew each other and worked with each other. But you do have the phenomenon where even in gaming, and Blizzard was kind of a larger team, like Team 2, the WoW team that I came from. You work cross discipline, like engineers work with artists, they work with designers, etc., but not as intimately as you do in a small team like this that we have. And so, a lot engineers, artists, and designers, they all kind of think differently, right? They have their own way of thinking about the game, thinking about the way that they communicate and the things that they value. It's important to have somebody who understands all the different points of view. Usually designers are kind of the middlemen between engineers and artists, or even like sound designers, whatever, right? They're kind of the one to put the glue for all of it to come together. And so since I'm like a leader at the studio, I'm able to kind of bridge a lot of the different disciplines together. But that said, you still have little cliques where the engineers all go out to lunch together, the artists go out to lunch to each other, and, they don't understand the artists don't understand really what's going on in the code base, generally. And then the engineers just think that, how long could it take to draw a picture or to make this art? Shouldn't it take a couple hours? Why does it take a week or whatever, right? And so you're going to get some sort of that. I think really what you got to build at the studio is, and it's not easy, right? Of course, is a culture of trust. You have to say, it's fine for everybody to give feedback on something, but at the end of the day, you need to trust that person. If you have somebody who's working on the back end for the blockchain technology, the designers, the artists can give feedback like they feel like it's slow or not the right choice, or their friends said this other chain is better or something like that. You can give feedback to that person, but at the end of the day, they were hired to do that job, and so you have to defer to them, right? And I think you have to make that clear and explicit for everybody. So that's one thing I would say. The other is what we do is we do rotating one-on-ones, and so each week is a different. We rotate it, and so everybody over a course of several weeks or months, we'll meet with everybody at the studio on a one-on-one. And so artists are meeting with engineers are meeting with designers, whatever it is. And, I do think it makes a difference. People kind of have a conversation and understand what each other are working on and what their aspirations are. And I think that can help cut through a lot of the little cliques and cabals.
Mhm.
And then lastly, I think it's important to have team events. Even if it's something simple, like everybody has lunch together. For us, we have play tests every couple weeks, and so during the play test, we usually have some food or drinks and things like that, and kind of make it low key and fun. And so I think that's another way to kind of help build the culture of the team and stuff. So those are kind of my thoughts there.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I think that for us, the biggest thing was we had I think the artists didn't get in the way as much, but what we had was, so I come from programming, and then we worked very close with the designers, but as we split apart because the company grew and they had to segregate, by the way, we were flat, totally flat, right? So nobody reported to anybody. And then
that's kind of how we are a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there was one person or two people that were above us, but besides that, everybody was flat. And then we had, I would say the biggest problem is, everybody wants to move fast because we're a startup. We have to move fast or we fall behind. And then engineer builds something, designer designs something. And then when the engineer's done with it, the designer's like, that doesn't match like the UX. This is not going to work. And then you have to like rework the whole code. Or the other way around is like the designer thinks something is simple, or vice versa. The engineer thinks something is simple, and then they have to go back to the drawing board to like basically re-architect the whole thing. And I think that's probably the hardest when you're working together. Beforehand, this is going to happen because I'm working with a designer. He's like right next to me. But as you split, then I think teams drift apart. This is probably very boring for everybody else that's listening, but these are the things that I've been interested in lately. But
Yeah,
no, I
we're
mean,
just
I think
talking about the fucking Toothshower for 10 minutes, so don't worry.
no, it's totally good. I mean, I love conversations like this. This is something I'm always thinking about. As kind of one of the leaders at the startup here. So no, I think it's all good stuff. A couple of books I would recommend. There's one called Reinventing Organizations.
Okay.
I'll link it. So this book talks about some new concepts of companies, right? I mean, things that I don't like about working at a lot of problems working at Blizzard, for example, is just that you get this top-down hierarchical kind of structure, and then now you just don't have a lot of autonomy and ways to make real impact to the team, and have all these like design by committee things. And so at a startup in a smaller team, you're probably not going to have that because you just don't have enough people to have that sort of structure. And so anyways, it talks about a lot of other different types of solutions and ways to accomplish having an organization or a team or a company without a lot of those traditional old school kind of structures. And so, I would suggest that one. I'll link it in the live chatting. So I recommend that one. There's another book called Rework. It's by one of the founders of Basecamp, who Basecamp went through a lot of drama last year about, because they just kind of told people, hey, if you want to talk about politics, you can't do it at work. And people, but anyways, the book is really, really good. There's a lot of like little tidbits there. And Basecamp was like one of the first organizations to embrace remote work. So anyways, there's a lot of little tidbits in there I'd recommend. Those are two book recommendations I would give. But I think, I think your startup should be happy to have you because, you're thinking deeply about these challenges and, whatever it is. And that's what you want from the team, right? You want everyone to succeed, and you want everybody's working in good faith, right? So, yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the question.
Thanks for asking. That was great.
What was I gonna say here? We didn't even cover like any kind of news this week. There wasn't really very much. There was
Yeah,
a bunch of fallout
slower.
from the Ubisoft NFT drama, and I saw there was this company that Fort or Forte or whatever.
Forte. Let's say it's Forte.
Yeah, they got like 750 million funding, which is like, I'm thinking, how the fuck can you spend 750 million?
Oh, I'm sure they find a way. Yeah.
Fascinating.
That's great. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't think there's been a day over the last week where I somehow haven't talked about NFTs. Like,
dude, it's crazy.
Not even in this Discord. Yeah, it's really just everywhere. It is sticking. And as I reflect back to the beginning of 2021, the first kind of like wave of the NFT craze and NBA Top Shots and all that stuff was even before we started this podcast in February, and the conversation's still going. I feel like it's probably hanging around. May as well get used to it. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where NFTs go. I think, on one hand, there's a lot of scammers and things like that, or bunch of just make cash quick kind of things. But I think, when the dust settles, we may have new experiences, a new way to think about games or the digital world. So next year, I think I'm really happy how the podcast has gone, and I look forward to each week of just talking about things. And it feels just kind of like I always wanted to have this like a club or something where I talk with like people who are interested about similar subjects each week or every couple weeks, where I live and stuff. It's just impossible to find something like that. But I really felt like this podcast has turned into that, and I really enjoyed it. But some goals that I want to do next year is really bring on a lot of new guests and talk deeper about subjects and learn from them, right? I think that's traditionally what podcasts are, is just, you bring on guests, and now and then we haven't brought on any guests really yet. And I would love to do that next year. And so we'd love to talk about the future of virtual worlds, bring on some other founders from startups, bring on people who work on other MMOs and games that we enjoy. So I'm really excited about that.
Jaffe.
Oh God, we got to reach out to him. Yeah,
amongst others.
We got to tease him to get us to get him to follow us so we can message him.
Yeah. This was a huge year. You made the Noto announcement. We started this off. We watched the kind of rise and decline of Clubhouse. I'm excited to see
Clubhouse.
I'm excited to see where this goes next year. We have some fun stuff in store, everybody, and I want to remind everyone that like any candid feedback you all have about how things are going too, we do get not a fair amount, but we get some YouTube comments, and it feels like it's a different group of people than are chatting actively. But leave feedback anytime you want. Super thankful to just have everybody here. My cat is knocking shit off of my speakers because she wants to be fed, so I'm gonna have to get going.
Yeah.
But 2022. Let's get it ready.
2022. I'm looking forward to. I'll see you on the other side.
Yes. Have yourself a great holiday season. Same to everyone. And we will be back in a little bit. Take care.
Later, everyone.
Chris.
Bye. Later, gamers.
Okay.